Hey guys, it's Keshav from Revolution Hive, and I'm here in Countersbury today with the Revolution Hive Mastermind. We've taken a weekend away, so we've come to the British countryside in Countersbury. Really beautiful setting. I'll show you some clips in the B-roll. And in this video, I wanted to talk about how do you create a habit of reading more books, and how do you get to a level where you can read 50 books plus in a year? Because I don't know if you're anything like me, but you probably have a really long reading list of books that you would love to read. You already understand the importance of reading, but perhaps you're struggling to be consistent with your reading. And I know I was in this place even just last year, but this year I've been able to be a lot more consistent with the books that I'm reading, but also the notes that I'm taking and the level of immersion that I'm taking into my self-development, particularly when it comes to reading. So how can you get to a point where you read a book a week and read 50 books a year? You know, how do people do it? Well, the first thing is you've got to understand the importance of reading. You know, most people say they want to read, but they haven't really internalized emotionally why it's important to them. So figuring out why is it even important to you that you read? Warren Buffett was doing a Q&A with a small private group a couple of years ago, and somebody asked him, you know, why do you think reading is so important, and how much time do you spend reading every single day? And the answer he gave might surprise you. He said, I spend about 80% of my time reading, about 6 hours per day. Even though he has multiple businesses, he's, you know, a very, very busy guy, and there's so many things that he needs to do. He's spending over 6 hours, 80% of his time is dedicated to reading. And they asked him, you know, why? And he said, well, look, in my sector, in my market that I'm competing in, when I'm investing in things, the most critical thing I can do is make choices. And I want to be in a place where the choices that I make on an average basis, the average repetition, my average choice is much better than everybody else's. And how can I do that? It's by studying markets and sectors from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. So that when I make that one choice in my business, when it comes to the HR or when it comes to marketing or when it comes to investing, I have 6 hours of reading behind that one decision so that I'm much better informed. And better decisions leads to better results. I'm saying this all the time in videos, you know, it's what you choose to do and what you choose not to do that really matters. So you've got to use that critical insight to filter through the things that you don't need and the things that you do need. The second thing, and most people don't do this, you know, when they think about reading a book, it's just like, oh man, I've got to sit there and read. It's kind of boring, especially, and I understand this, when you've got mobile phones you can pull out at any time, you've got social media, you've got movies, like everything is about instant gratification and those dopamine hits that you get from the internet, for example, and the effect it has on your brain. So instead of looking at it as just reading, the way I like to look at it is, I am about to spend 2 hours with Brené Brown or Stephen Hawking or all the other authors that I've been reading. I'm spending 2 hours because these guys have spent decades and decades learning the stuff that they're sharing with you in their books, but they've even conveniently organized it for you in chapters. They've highlighted the key points that you need to know. So when I'm reading a book by Brené Brown, I'm not just seeing it as I'm reading now. I'm looking at it as I'm spending 2 hours with Brené Brown. And that leads me to my third point, is I schedule time in my diary to figure out when exactly am I going to read. So I know at least spending 30 minutes a day, I'm looking at it as that is a 30-minute meeting with Brené Brown or Stephen Hawking. Now, it might not necessarily be true, you know, the way in the truest sense of it, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. If you were sat down if you had 2 hours with Warren Buffett, how would you approach it? You would not miss that meeting for sure. You would show up prepared, taking notes. You'd be listening intently to every single word. So I find personally it's super useful to approach my reading in the same way. And you can do the same thing, look, with your training courses, with webinars you watch, with videos that you watch where you're getting information that you feel is important. Is sitting down and imagining, I'm getting 2 hours with London Real right now. I'm getting 2 hours with Eric Thomas. I'm getting 2 hours with The SciShow, with Hank Green, you know, all these notable, influential, smart, intelligent people. You're getting 2 hours with them. And the final thing, and I think this is the most simple, is realizing that in order to read 50 plus books a year, you only really need to read 20 pages a day. And for most people reading at an average speed, that's about 20 to 30 minutes of reading. Now you can find that time. One of the things I've been adding to my arsenal recently when it comes to reading is even listening to audiobooks while I'm brushing my teeth. Because that's a 10-minute window maybe, you know, when I'm kind of slowly getting ready, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm going to get, you know, to the toilet. I just put my audiobook on and just leave it on the windowsill and I'm listening to stuff. So I know I've got 10 minutes down, and then it's just about finding 3 10-minute chunks throughout the day or 6 5-minute chunks. So to summarize, you know, why is reading important to you? Really understand why it's important and how it helps you and benefits you in the long run. Start with the minimum, which is read 20 pages a day. Schedule time, and I think the most important one for me is look at it like you're not just reading a book, but you're actually spending time with that person. You're getting that quality one-to-one mentoring where you're learning their key insights and you're getting the chance to pick their brains, because 9 times out of 10 the answers you need, they're in a book somewhere, and there's thousands of them free in a public library that you can access. And the more you learn, the more you earn. It's been said before on YouTube, but it's really, really fundamentally true. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below, what book are you reading right now and how many books are you aiming to read this year? My aim is at least 50. I think I can probably go further than that, but I'm going to start there. And I look forward to speaking to you on tomorrow's video. Peace.